previous lessons, we talked about how to solve limits using the graph and using the table. Now we're getting problems like this where you don't have a calculator, you don't have a graph. I need to figure out what the limit is, in this case, as I'm approaching 1. Here are the methods to try, and the first things first, always need to try direct substitution first. If not, then see something we can factor and cancel, and if not, possibly rationalize with the square root. Let me show you examples of what all of that means. Okay? In this problem here, first thing we have is we have this limit. We need to try to, the first step is always to try to just plug in. And what I mean by that is plug in this x value. If I plug that in, I'll get 0 up top and 0 on the bottom. This is an indeterminate form. It does not work. So, because of that, we need to try to rewrite this equation. And that's what we have right here. We factored both the top and the bottom, and look what ends up happening. 99 times out of 100, if we do this, something's going to cancel. We have a factor of x minus 1 that cancels. That means I can now rewrite this. I'm still taking a limit. That's why I need to keep writing limit all these times here, of just now x squared plus x plus 1. This is when I canceled. This is what's left. Now that I've canceled, now I need to try to just plug right in again. Well, I can now plug in a 1 here and get 1 squared plus 1 plus 1. That gives me my limit. My answer is 3. Once I plug in, I don't need to write limit anymore. So now I have just a limit of 3. Here's a couple more examples. This first one, same thing. Start first by trying to plug in. If I plug in 0 on the top and bottom, I would get 0 over 0. So direct substitution doesn't work. That means I need to try to rewrite it. So let's factor both the top and the bottom. I can pull out an x up top. I'm left with x minus 4. And I have still 3x on the bottom. Look what happens again. I have x's that'll cancel out. Now that they've canceled out, it's just, if I want to rewrite it, the limit of x minus 4 over 3. Now I can plug in 0 for x, because that's what I have here, and get an answer of negative 4 over 3. And this one here, same thing. Plug in 2 first. I get 0 up top. When I plug it in down here in the bottom, I'll get 0 again, so I do need a factor. So I'm going to take the limit. I'm going to factor the top to get x minus 2 and x plus 2. And on the bottom, I'm going to have x minus 2, x minus 3. So again, we have something that cancels out. Once it cancels out, what can I plug in? Well, let me rewrite it first. Limit as x approaches 2, it's x plus 2 over x minus 3. Plug in my values here of 2 and 2, and I should get an answer of 4 over negative 1, or negative 4 for my answer. Alright, and my last one here. Always, your first step is just to plug in. So I get 0 up top. I get negative 9 on the bottom. Can I do 0 divided by negative 9? Yes, I can. I don't even need to try to factor anything out. I already have an answer. The limit right there is 0. Alright, so that's how you do with factoring. Now what if I have to rationalize? This is what it looks like. So again, first step is to try to plug right in. When I plug in 0 here, I'll get the square root of 1, which is 1. Minus 1 is 0. And on the bottom is 0. So again, nothing that we like. What we can do though, is I can go and I can rationalize. And this is how we do that. Whatever this numerator is, rewrite it the exact same way. But instead of minus 1 here, just switch that sign. Make it plus 1. My denominator now needs to be the exact same. This way I'm multiplying by 1. I haven't changed anything. So, as I do that, now I can rewrite this. I'm going to FOIL the top, because really this is like 2 binomials. When I multiply the first ones together, the square roots are just going to go away. So it'll be x plus 1. When I do the outsides and the insides, I get the same thing, 1 positive, 1 negative. So those are just going to cancel out. So all I need to do is the last, which is just negative 1. On the bottom, I'm not even going to try to distribute or factor this. I'm just going to leave it in factored form because I'm expecting to get something to cancel out. That is my goal here, to get something to cancel. That way I can go and directly substitute something in again. And notice what happens up top. I have plus 1, minus 1, so those go away. The bottom I'm going to leave in that factored form. And the reason I have that now is right here. My x is canceled out just like I hoped. Now I should try to directly substitute in. I'm going to rewrite it. We have just 1 up top, the square root of x plus 1 on the bottom. I'm going to now plug in x equals 0 because I've already canceled something out. That means I should get 1 on top. This is the square root of 1, which is 1, plus 1, which is 2, so 1/2. Alright, one more problem. Go ahead and pause the video. See if you can go and do this one on your own. See if you can take the steps. When you think you've gotten the answer, go ahead and hit play and see what you got. Alright, when you directly substituted, you should have gotten 0 over 0. So we do need to rationalize. You should have multiplied by square root of x plus 5 plus 3, because it was minus 3 here. When you do your FOILing, you should get x plus 5 minus 9 up top, these two factors on the bottom. So now I can simplify this up top to be x minus 4. The x minus 4s will cancel out here. I'm left with this. Now I can go and directly substitute in, and I should get as an answer here 1 over 6. This becomes the square root of 9, which is 3, plus 3 is 6. There you have it. Hopefully you're in good shape and know now how to solve limits analytically.